what are three key things we need to remember about this situation? Welcome to Ron's Basement. Have we all completely forgotten that we are in the middle of a major world conflict, war right now? We have a war going on in Europe. Can you believe that? Like, if I told you that a year ago or 5 years ago that we were going to have an actual war going on in Europe, we would have been horrified, dismayed. But what does that mean for the price of gold and silver as we move through the end of the year? Nobody cares right now, and it's certainly not reflected currently in the price of gold and silver. But what are three key things we need to remember about this situation? I'm going to cover those with you in this video. Let's get started right now. Gold and silver typically react favorably to heightened levels of geopolitical risk, and that's the situation that we have right now. Let's dive into these three factors that I think we need to consider when we look at this situation. Number one, neither side is showing any real sign of wanting to give up, okay? You have the Ukrainians who are being funded by the United States, by Great Britain, other Western countries, and you have the Russians who are fighting and have said they will fight till the very end for this land. So there, unfortunately, is like right now, no sign of this situation de-escalating. It could, right? We're often surprised, but the way things look right now on the surface, it's not going away. As a matter of fact, recently, the foreign minister of Russia stormed out of a G20 summit meeting. He was so angry with what some of these Western countries were saying to him. The West and Russia, the East, are not getting along right now. That's point number one. Another thing we need to remember, point number two, is that all of this is going on when the economies, when the financial conditions of all these countries in the West, the United States, Europe, the financial situation, the economic situation in the West is just in a total state of disarray. All the debt these countries have. So we're already in a, what some could argue, fragile state, especially economically. And that leads me to point number three. This is not just a traditional war. This is also turned into an economic war. The West has put serious sanctions against Russia. Russia is fighting back with their own sanctions. Now the BRICS nations, Russia, Brazil, India, China, South Africa, and some other countries, even Saudi Arabia, they're saying, are talking about joining together to start a new world reserve currency that they can use for trading amongst themselves. The United States had obviously traditionally dominated world trade with the US dollar. There's an economic war going on. There's a lot going on, guys. This war, the actual war, but also the outside ramifications of it, I don't think are being fairly reflected in the price of the precious metals right now. None of us like war. People are suffering. So we're not in favor of war, even if it means that the price of precious metals goes up. The common man suffers. There's a lot of horrific situations that are unfolding in eastern Ukraine. So we aren't rooting for war for the price of our precious metals to go up. However, we have to accept the current situation, and it is ugly. Just over the weekend, I read that the president of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, had announced that he's amassed a 1 million-man force that he's going to try to use in an attempt to regain some of the land in the south of Ukraine. This is not being, at least in the United States, it's not real front page news. Maybe it's on the front page, but it's not getting the media attention that it did just a few months ago. And it is a major situation. Part of the reason for that may be that Russia has had some success as of late. I don't know why, but it seems to have been put somewhat on the back burner as of late. But we have still major conflict going on in that area. We'll see how it all plays out. Let's hope for peace. Let's hope for harmony and better days ahead for both the world and the price of silver and gold. Hey, I appreciate you joining me today here in the basement. You are always welcome. Subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, hit the little bell notification. That way you'll get notified every time I put out a new video. And until next time, you be well.